All right, UFC 323, Merab Dvalishvili, Petr Yan 2, and Alexandre Pantoja, Joshua Van. It's happening this weekend. It's pick time. All right, it's pick time. For the Qatar card, I went 9-14, so I'm 19-28 overall, which is like a 67% chance, or a 68% chance, percent pick rate, which is pretty good. I'm gonna try and keep that up with this card. So first off, Mohamed Naimov versus Myron Santos. I know Santos has been going to a lot of decisions lately, and the Marshall decision was a split decision. That was close. I do think he won that. But the Yusuf decision, he got that pretty unanimously. It's just, I just don't trust his Felipe Lima loss, Mohamed Naimov's. Felipe Lima, I think if you pressure and you do good enough, uh, you don't lose to him. You know, if you have a decent, like you saw against Payton Talbott, he's trying to be too flashy, where he loses the fight if you let him. Like Felipe Lima will lose the fight for you. He'll let you win, and I don't know. I'm just gonna trust Myron Santos. He's been on a streak. Uh, I do think the odds. I don't think it should be that much different, but so there could be money on Naimov. He's plus 205 right now. Can you see that? Yeah, he can. Plus 205 right now. I just think Myron Santos, he's younger. Uh, he's on a streak right now. You know, I do like that he's lost before, not in the UFC, but he has lost in general. Uh, so he does have the understanding of defeat, but I think he's on a streak. He's going to continue for a little bit more. You know, he's not like the most impressive featherweight ever, but I do think he's decent enough. All right, he's decent enough. I think you get through Muhammad Naimov by decision, maybe close, but I do think Santos can pull it off. All right. Up next, Mansour Abdulmalik versus Antonio Dracoli. I tried my hardest to pick Dracoli, to find any way to pick Dracoli. All right, I was like Mansour Abdulmalik drew with Cody Gun or crud Cody Brundage. I don't think he's that good, but also Dracoli's getting killed by Trayshawn Gore. All right, he's just too much of a victim, dude. He stands there. He's very scared to strike. He's very upright, has his chin high up in the air. I think Mansour Abdulmalik can get him on. I do want to say round one or two. I'm putting round two, but I think late round one, early round two, KO for Mansour Abdulmalik is pretty good. Like I said, Dracoli's just a victim on the feet. He takes shots. He doesn't give back. He's really slow. He's awful. So yeah, who did he draw with? Why is that? I don't know what that is. I just haven't been impressed with him. You know, the Shermagomedov, he just gets stuck in on a single leg up against the fence is all he does. I think Mansour Abdulmalik is good enough. Like his which one was it? Nick Klein. He got rocked. I trust his chin. I don't think Tricoli can do anything that'll get him. He got like basically KO'd. He got spinning elbow KO'd and still somehow won against Nick Klein. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna choose it. Mansour Abdulmalik, late first round, early second round KO is what I'm thinking. All right. Up next, Ibo Aslan, Iwo Bereniski. All right. It's hard to not pick Bereniski just off of that Ibo Aslan. Even though he does kind of suck, he's been very content with losing these last two. He did survive Billy Elikana. He got submitted by Ayan Kutalaba. I'm just gonna trust the hype, you know. Uh-oh. Don't look at that. Oh, you didn't see that. Perfect. I'm just gonna trust in the hype is what I'm thinking. I think Iwo can get it done early. I think Ibo Aslan's really slow early, and I think he got robbed by Billy Alicana around one or two, but Billy Alicana just didn't push for some reason. Like it looked like Alicana's the one who didn't try and do anything, and Ibo Aslan was just there. You know, he just kind of hangs around in the cage until he knocks you out or you get knocked out. I'm gonna trust. Who else knocks out Muhammad Ali like that? Who else knocks out Muhammad Ali like that? He's quick. He was really quick. He's strong. I trust him. He didn't look, though, 20 seconds that we did see of him in the Contender Series, he did look pretty sloppy, but I think if you're sloppy enough, you can get a KO, and it won't matter for, like low ranked people. All right. For light heavyweight, I think he can get by. So I'm gonna choose Ibo or Iwo Baraniski to KO Ibo Aslan in round one. It's probably gonna be a mistake because I could see Ibo just showing him levels and out decisioning him. But I think he has some good wins on his record. 6-0. He's from Poland. He's younger. He's on a winning streak. He just got in the UFC. Big KO over Muhammad Ali. I can see him getting this done in round one. All right, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe round two, but I think Ibo's just so slow and his chin's so up there. And he spars a lot more now, so he won't be going for the kill against Iwo, which I think giving him too much confidence can be giving Iwo too much confidence is what is like the nail in the coffin. I think Ibo's going to do that. I don't think he pushes too much anymore. So, alright, there's that. Okay. Edson Barboza, Jalen Turner. I'm going to go with Jalen Turner. He's only lost to good people. Barboza's 40. What is he? Yeah, 39. He's turning 40. When is that? February? Man, he's 40 February. That's crazy. I'm just thinking Jalen Turner's just better, I know we got submitted by Bahamondes and Moicano KO'd him, but he's only lost to what? Bahamondes, Moicano, Gamrot, Hooker, and those are split decisions over good people. Barboza's been doing nothing recently, he's really slow. He's a former featherweight he's lost to Bryce Mitchell at featherweight, He had a good fight with Lerone Murphy, I will say, he kind of knocked him out, but I just see Turner being too long and rangy for Barboza, and he's really open. Like Jakar Close was hitting with a lot of good shots, which I think if Jalen Turner hits those, you're gonna be gone. Is what I'm thinking. I want to say round one. Yeah, I'm gonna say round one actually. Maybe not. Barboza gasses a lot. He gasses quick. Ugh. I don't know. I'm going to say round two for now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a round one KO. Because Barboza's just that open now. He's just so open. Leaves his chin hanging out in the air. I'm going to stick with round two because he gets sloppier. I think first round, Barboza will be fine and he'll be slipping and dodging and weaving. And then round two, he'll be gassed at round two, sloppy. Jalen Turner retires and then unretires for no reason. Round 2 KO for Turner is what I'm thinking. That's the plan. So there's that. All right, let's go up. Marvin Vettori versus Bruno Ferreira. Dude, I don't care. He's never been finished. He's never been submitted or knocked out ever in his pro career. I think it's over. I think a 3-fight losing streak. And he fights quick, Ever since that layoff, I think it was like leg surgery or something from Cannonier. He's came back every 4 months. He's fighting, 8 months and then 4 months, and then it's just too much. He's taking not like crazy damage, but he's taking damage. I think the Hulk. I mean, who's more fitting to be the first person to knock out Vettori than the Hulk, right? So I think Bruno Ferreira can get it done. Vettori's very open. He's sloppy. He's slow. And Ferreira's leveled up. I could see a submission, like he drops him and then maybe he submits him. But kind of like with Max Holloway against Ilia Topuria, when they have such a strong chin and it finally breaks, you don't have a recovery. They don't have a recover because they've never had to recover, so they don't know how to recover from like being dropped or being wobbled badly or whatever. So I think Bruno Ferreira round 2 KO. Actually, you know what? I'm always stuck between round 1 and 2. I'm going to say round 1. Vettori's too predictable, too. He's very simple in his strikes, and I think Ferreira can pick up on that. Slip a 1, slip a 2, throw an overhand off of it, knock him out. Vettori's over, is what I'm thinking. I think the Hulk is going to wake up Marvin Vettori from his Italian dream, and it's going to be an over. And we're going to be kind of sad because he went to a split decision loss against Adesanya somehow, which is crazy. I don't know. He's older than Vettori, man. But Vettori just had so much damage, dude. And I don't know where his head's at. You know, his brother died recently. He's fighting too much. I think he's trying to make up for all that lost time. 2 years out, and now he's fighting a whole bunch. I don't know if he gets this done. Ferrer's good. You know, I know he lost to what? Abus Magomedov got submitted. But, you know, Dustin Stolfus, Kevin Gastelum couldn't knock out Dustin Stolfus, and he knocks him out. Phil Hall's flying knee, and then RM Trojan, and then Jackson McVeigh back-to-back submissions. He's shown levels. I think Bruno Ferrer can finish it anywhere. He's stronger than Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen was almost finishing Vettori. I'm going to trust him to finish it in round 1. KO. Okay. This one I'm not too sure on, but I'm going to go with Nazem Sadykhov with a submission over Fares Ziam. Right. I don't know. I'm not sure. I just think Fares Ziam's way too open. In his win against, is it Mike Davis? Yeah, his Mike Davis win, he was getting caught with a lot. And I think Nazem Sadykhov, even though he was also getting caught by Nicholas Mata, Nicholas Mata's decent. Like, I don't blame him, and he recovered really well. I don't think Fares Ziam's going to have that kind of finishing power in round 1 to really wobble him badly up against the fence, have him defend, and they'll call it off. I think it may be the same thing where Fares Ziam does it really good in the first round, and then Nazem Sadykhov's all over him, kind of breaking him. I just trust it, plus, did he? Yeah, he submitted Terrence McKinney, Terrence McKinney submitted Fares Ziam. The triangle of MMA math means that Nazem Sadykhov will beat Fares Ziam. That's how MMA math works. But now he looked pretty good against Terrence McKinney. He fights pretty active. What was that? 2 years? 2 years? He's not pretty active. Never mind. I just lied straight to your face. He's not active. But he had a really cool, like, front weird, like, question mark kick that finished the Ismail Bonfirm fight. You need to watch it back. He, like, question mark kicks right in the eye, and it cuts in, like, round 1, and it cuts right here or something. He cuts, like, the eyelid. I don't know, with his big toe. Nicholas Mata KO, he showed that he can recover well. I just don't know. I don't trust Fares Ziam. He canceled his last fight. 9 months later, he's now doing this. He fought earlier this year. And, you know, the Matt Frivola thing, it's not that impressive. Claudio Puelles, a split decision. Jai Herbert, decision. I just don't trust Fares Ziam to have the finishing potential to get this done. I know he's younger than Sadykhov, but Sadykhov's entering his prime. He's on a streak. You know, I know Fares Ziam is on a streak, but what happened there? Oh, the Vishalov Borshev draw is kind of crazy. I forgot about that. I'm just going to have to trust it. I'm going to have to trust Nazem Sadykhov to get the submission in round 2 and just hope and pray that I get it right. Because this is a hard one in my opinion. It's like one of the, besides the next couple fights, I think this is one of the hardest fights to predict just because of how well both of these guys are. But I think Nazem Sadykhov's just more dangerous on the feet, and he can get it with more openings. He'll create more openings on the feet. Fares Ziam's not the... I don't think he's crazy good at grappling either, you know? I think Nazem Sadykhov will be fine to survive and, you know, maybe put him out or maybe catch him, you know, while he's wobbled him or something. I don't know. But I think Nazem Sadykhov, round 2 submission, I think he'll hurt him and then he'll follow him and submit him down there. I could just see him knocking him out. I'm not too sure on Ziam's chin. Hasn't really fought anybody with too much power. Like, I think if you put Fares Ziam and Nazem Sadykhov's shoes against Nikola Mata and he got hit with the same thing, he may have been finished. So I don't know about his recovery. I think Nazem Sadykhov will get it done. Round 2 submission, round 2 KO, something like that, or a round 2 finish. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Macy Barber, Karine Silva. Now, I know Karine Silva kind of sucks, right? Macy Barber's fought a lot of good people. Like, she beat, what's that, Jillian something? Jillian Robertson or something, the redhead lady, Canadian, who's really good, beat her early in her career. I just don't trust Macy Barber. She's had her last two fights canceled against Rose and then Blanchfield, and she died on the Blanchfield fight, basically missed weight. I just don't trust her commitment to the sport. I think Karine Silva, even though she did lose to Vivian Araujo, and then she should have lost to Diane Barboza, it was a close, maybe not. It was a boring decision. I don't remember it. I heard some people thought she lost this, but she won it. I just trust her more. I think she's more into the game than Macy Barber is. She's getting plastic surgery done, Barber's dying to make weight. I just don't trust her, Even if she does make weight, or maybe she's overweight, I don't know if she's going to be the healthiest she can be and really fit and ready to go 3 rounds against Karine Silva, who put some pressure on her, maybe break her or something. But I think Silva, decision, she's an underdog. This is another how many underdogs do I have? So Sadikov's a plus. Ferreira's even. That's some good money on Ferreira. I feel like it should not be evens, by the way. This Vettori Ferreira, I think Ferreira should be the favorite because all Vettori does is lose. So there's that. Turner's the favorite. Iwo's the favorite. Tricoli's the underdog, huge. And Santos is the favorite. So that's my first big underdog pick. Not big, but real underdog is Karine Silva. I think she can get it done. Decision. It's WMMA. I don't really trust anybody to get a finish. I don't trust Barber to have enough strength. Like I said, I just don't know how she is physically, or I don't trust her health. So I'm going to go with Karine Silva. Decision. Alright. Terrence McKinney, Chris Duncan, dude. This is a hard one. This is very hard. I'm going to go with Chris Duncan by round 1 KO. This is kind of, I think Kenny's due for another hilarious flatline round 1 KO. You had the Rubovich, he gets 2. 2 before this. Which other funny KO was this? This was the flying knee funny KO right here. 6 fights ago. I think he's just due. That's the main reasoning. I know he got submitted by Manuel Torres, which is really bad. But the Jordan Vucinic, I think the guillotine threat's good enough where McKinney may not shoot. He may just be scared to, dude. This is a tough fight to predict because I could see McKinney just maybe going out there and getting submitted. Boom, it's over. I'm just going to have to trust in Chris Duncan because McKinney's very open, dude. He's just very open. He gets hit. I just see him getting hit too much before he can get it off. I know because, he submitted, was that Vyacheslav Borshev his last? Yeah. It's Borshev, not the best fighter ever. He hasn't had the most impressive 2-fight wins. They're just giving him layups. I think Duncan is good enough. He's done enough. He's beaten Rebecki. He beat Vucinic. He beat Oki, Belagioki. I'm just going to have to trust in him. I will say, slight underdog for McKinney is good money right there. I could see him just submitting Duncan in round 1. But I do think this is a first-round finish either way. I think it's going to be first, maybe second round for Duncan if he can survive McKinney's onslaught and he wobbles him badly in round 1 and then he puts him away in round 2. But right now I'm just going to trust him to finish McKinney. Round 1 KO. McKinney's coming in too wild. Gets him put out. Hilarious flatline KO for Duncan. Because McKinney's cooldown is over. He has to get flatline KO'd. That's how he's built, dude. It's KO, win-win, KO, win-win. He's a further KO. He's due for a KO. I can read it like a stock chart, dude. He's getting KO'd. Up next, this is also another hard one. This is really hard. I'm going to go with Grant Dawson getting a submission in round 2. Just because in the Bahamondes fight, I know it's Bahamondes knocking him out, but Manuel Torres just throws with everything, dude. And I know Drew Dober, he knocked him out too, but he just overswings a lot. He gives up his back a lot, I feel like, while overswinging. And Dawson, I'm going to trust in him to not have a glass chin. That's kind of what you're hoping for right here. You're hoping, and I know I said the same thing for Dariush against BSD, and I picked BSD to flatline Dariush, and it happened. I just think Dawson, he's in his prime. He's 32, 31, almost 32. I think the Bobby Green knockout was just like a spectacular case of bad luck for Dawson, a spectacular case of good luck for Bobby Green. I don't see it happening again. Like, it was like the weirdest. He was like in southpaw and he hit him with like a straight net. I think he was already off balance and he just gave up, kind of. I think Dawson gave up more than getting knocked out. I think Dawson can keep some pressure on Torres, have him swing him wild, take him down, hold him down for the first round, and I think he can get him done with a submission in round 2. He's really good at grappling. He's really good. Torres is pretty good at grappling too, but I just don't think. I think Dawson can outpace him, get him better spots. He's shown improvement since the Bobby Green loss. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Joe Selecki, Rafael Garcia, and Diego Ferreira. That's a pretty good win, you know. I know he just got knocked out by Alex Hernandez or whoever a couple cards ago, but Diego Ferreira is a good win. I trust him. Please don't have a glass chin against Manuel Torres, he's a power puncher, but like I said, he swings a lot. I think Dawson can slip and dodge and dive and get him down, wear him down in the first round. I think that's the thing about Torres. He overswings so much. He's got a lot of tight muscle fiber. What is it? I think he's one of those people where you hold him down for like round 1 and he'll be gassed by round 2. You know, he's never gone to a decision. I could see a Dawson decision. I'm just going to trust a submission. Actually, I'm going to change it to round 3. Round 3. I think round 1 and 2, he's good at tiring him out. Round 3, he's so tired he just gives up a rear naked choke or something in round 3. So Grant Dawson submission round 3. I will say Torres, great odds on Torres. 170 underdog. He could finish it round 1. Knock Dawson out. We'll just say that Dawson can never be top level because he has no chin. But I'm going to trust him. Dawson submission round 3. Could see a decision. I just don't know how Torres is in the later rounds. I think Dawson can keep a good pressure where he can maybe break him in the third. Maybe he could get like a back mount or like a grounding pound TKO finish too. But something like that, you know what I'm saying? Where like he's broken at the end of round 3. And Dawson just finishes him out of, like, not a mercy, but, you know, like he kind of just gives up. Torres just gives up a submission, lets him, you know, TKO him. Something like that. That's what I'm thinking, alright? Okay. Yan Blachowicz, Bogan Guskov. I'm going with Yan. Round 2 KO? Do I do round 1? I never know, dude. I never know what round is good. It's just his loss to Ozdemir. He was so wild. And he's so wild in every one of these. Like the Ryan Spann KO, Billy Elianka submission. He got caught in round 1, so I'm actually going to choose round 1. I think Yan Blachowicz can capitalize on the wildness of Guskov and make him pay. Billy Elianka almost did that, but he kind of like fumbled it, and then he got submitted by Bogdan. The Krylov KO is because Krylov is awful. He's not awful, but you know, he's just never been that good, even though he took Ankalaev to like a split decision or something. I just think him surviving, Yan Blachowicz surviving Pereira, surviving Olberg, drawing with Ankalaev, the Teixeira Glover submission is scary, but you know, I trust him, dude. I trust Yan Blachowicz. He is old, 42, but I think, like I said, in heavier divisions, age doesn't matter that much. He did get knee surgery, so I think he could maybe, if Bogdan's like kick heavy and really patient, maybe. If he does like what Olberg did, where he's just like out tapping him, maybe, but that's not how Bogdan is. I think Yan Blachowicz can knock him out in round 1, dude. Bogdan's really open, you know, he comes in wild, he gets hit a lot, and I think Yan Blachowicz, if he senses, I think late round 1, early round 2, that's why I'm kind of in between, but I think round 1 he can get it done. Like the Ozdemir one where he just catches him. And then Ozdemir submitted him, so I could see maybe a Yan Blachowicz submission, but I think he'll, instead of submitting him, he'll just ground and pound TKO up against the fence, have Bogdan curling up, pulling Anthony Smith guard. Wait a minute. He does look like Anthony Smith. This may be an armadillo finish for Bogdan, may be finished like an armadillo. by Yan Blachowicz. You know what? I feel more confident round 1 TKO. Yan started Anthony Smith's reign of armadilloing to a finish. I think he'll start Bogdan's reign of armadilloing to a finish. So I'm going to trust that. Yan Blachowicz, I am scared for it. Bogdan could just catch him. But I think surviving Pereira and Olberg is enough to tell me that he can still survive heavy hitters, power hitters. He'll slow it down. And I think while Pereira is pretty powerful, he's like defensively sound. Olberg, very defensively sound. Bogdan's just not as defensively sound as them. So I think he can finish it, get it done. Good way to open up a main card. Yan Blachowicz, KO. He's back, dude. That's what it's going to be like. Blachowicz is back. Who's up next? Reyes rematch. No, I'm just joking. Moving up, dude. All right. Henry Cejudo, Payton Talbott. I think you're going to have to be crazy to choose Payton Talbott. Because I think if you saw how Talbot looked against Raoni Barcelos in round 3 against Raoni Barcelos, where he was almost TKO'd by Raoni Barcelos at the start of this year, and you think he can improve so much where he's going to be able to beat Henry Cejudo, you're insane. I don't see... Also, insane odds for Henry Cejudo. 225 underdog. I'd put like $1,000 that Cejudo wins. He looked really good against the Song Yudong fight, which he shouldn't have lost. Jason Herzog. Jason Herzog was reffing that. And they just had to go to a decision so that Cejudo would lose. There's going to be a video for you soon, pal. Alright, I'm thinking of doing that. I need some more info, though. But, he looked really good in the Song Yudong fight. Song Yudong's no joke. He looked really good. And what? He's losing to Merab, gave a good fight to Merab, and lost to Sterling. Split decision with Sterling. I don't think, even though, dude... His last one was 5 years ago. It's like retire, unretire, retire, unretire, retire, unretire. I don't know what Cejudo... That's the kind of thing that I am scared how, invested is Cejudo still in this. He could just be doing this as a favor for Talbot and he may just get flatline KO'd by Talbot just for fun. Just to let Talbot build a name off of himself. But I trust Cejudo to be able to... He's short too, which I think is good, because he can take a hit, I think Cejudo can take some hits. He took some off of Song Yudong. Song Yudong wasn't really doing anything to him on the feet. I know Talbot's more dynamic on the feet, but I don't see him shutting Henry Cejudo's lights off like flatline KO. I think that's how you have to get rid of Cejudo for a Talbot. For a Talbot to get rid of Cejudo is flatline him. I don't see that. I don't. I know he's 38. He's really old. That is the scariest part. Just is his age catching up to him? And I don't think so. I think he's got a couple more left. He looked good in the Song Yudong fight. I think he can finish Talbot, dude. Like I said, Raoni Barcelos had him almost TKO'd in round 3. 10 more seconds of that for Raoni Barcelos, and that's a TKO. I think Cejudo can get to that a little bit better. More dominantly. I could see a round 2 TKO, but I'm going to go with round 3 just to play it safe. But a round 2 TKO for Cejudo is pretty good odds, I feel like. He could just decision him too, but I think Cejudo can get a KO. TKO, KO, something like that. So I'm going to go with Cejudo, round 3 KO, TKO. That's my pick. And now, actually it's the feature fight. I think you're crazy if you think Tatsuro Taira is going to beat Young Sung Park, who we just was shown getting manhandled by Bruno Silva, and you'll pick him to beat Merano. Well, Moreno's only lost to what? Is that Royval and Pantoja? Yeah. Split decisions to Royval and Pantoja. Really close fights. I just don't see... I don't see where Tatsuro Taira can do anything different than Royval or Pantoja. I just don't see it. I don't think he's good enough on the striking wise. I know he looked good. He dropped Young Sung Park. Dude, who is Young Sung Park? I don't think... I think maybe if I saw him against Amir Albazi, maybe we could have seen something like that. Would have been a good show of level. But I just don't see how him beating Young Sung Park means he'll beat Moreno. Moreno's still good, you know. You saw it against Usyk. He'll mix it up. This being 3 rounds does scare me. Tatsuro Taira can't just, like, Moreno may just be used to being in 5-round events, and, you know, he's not used to getting all of that work done in that quick. But I'm going to trust in Moreno. Good odds for Moreno. Plus 110. Near even. I think it should be, like, Moreno should be the favorite, in my opinion. He's a little bit older. Taira is younger, but I think in his prime, Moreno can still get it done by decision. Just being quicker than Taira everywhere, being better on the feet. Taira not being able to like out-scramble Taira, I feel like. I think he's really good. He's going to really out-scramble Taira. And get ahead of him on good positions. So I think Moreno by decision. I mean, great odds. What is it? I don't know. I don't know why Taira's the favorite. He's beating nobody, dude. Alex Perez, that's pretty good, but it was, you know, a knee injury. And then he lost to Royval. I know he lost a split decision to Royval, but so did Moreno. Moreno did pretty good against Pantoja. I just need to see more from Taira before I can pick him, you know. I need to see a little bit more before I can, you know, justify him beating people like Brandon Moreno, beating people like, you know, maybe Royval in a rematch. You know, I need to see another level. And the Young Sung Park fight was not enough. You know, I know he finished him quick, what was it, round 1 or round 2 submission? I think it was round 1. He, like, dropped him in round 1 and then submitted him. That's just not impressive to me. So I'm going to say Moreno decision is a pretty good lock. Pretty good money, too. Plus 110. He's, the odds on this card are pretty bad, in my opinion. Him and Cejudo should be favorites. But what do I know? I may just get everything wrong. But now it's time. I'm going with Joshua Van. All right. I'm going with Joshua Van for 5 reasons. First reason, I want Van to win. I like Van. I think I started watching him against Cody. What was his name? Cody Durden. I watched his fight against Cody Durden, and I've loved him ever since then. You know, which is not that long ago because he fights every couple months. I think he'd fight every week if he could. And I know Pantoja has so much more experience than him. He's so much better. Pantoja's a monster. I just think I haven't been too impressed with his last performances. I know that's crazy because he's finishing Kai Asakura, Kai Car-France. He's a Kai killer. He loves to kill some Kais. But I think the Royval fight and the Usyk fight showed me some weakness that I think Joshua Van can use. And that's Pantoja cannot strike at all, dude. He cannot strike. This is my third reason. Pantoja rushes in, throws like 3 hooks on each side, ends it with like a leg kick or a body kick, and then after like 2 or 3 times of ending it with that leg kick or body kick, he'll shoot a takedown off of that. And that's kind of how he gets you. I think Van is so good at distance management, so good at countering. He'll do it. I think elbows and uppercuts and body shots are the key to this fight. I think Joshua Van works the body very well. I think Pantoja's really slow. He's really, like, on the striking wise, he got hit with a flying knee by Kai Asakura. And he does have a good chin, you know. He'll eat shots and he'll just run through. But Van isn't a guy who's like, dude, don't get knocked out by him. He's going to volume you. And you're going to start whittling down. And Pantoja doesn't have the best cardio. You saw it against Usyk. He looked tired against Asakura in round 2. He looked tired against Kai Car-France, even though France did nothing to him. He tires out a lot, dude. And I'm going to have to trust. So that's reason 4. And the final reason is I can trust Van. I think Van losing already. He's not undefeated, so he doesn't have that mentality. Like I said, I like a fighter who isn't undefeated. You know, they don't have too big of a head. He went against Ray Tatsura, or whatever his name is, that grappler guy that took him down a whole bunch of times and went through some pretty bad positions, still won it. I like that. I like that he went through those bad positions. And I like that he's had, 5 months? He fought in July, so 6 months, but let's say he did a month to heal and party, 5 months to prepare for Pantoja. He's locked in. He fights a lot. He's young. I know for flyweight, maybe he's not in his prime and maybe he's going to be too weak. But I trust in Van to be quicker than Pantoja on the feet. I trust for him to be a step ahead of him, see what's coming. Now, Pantoja could just submit him in round one, and we'll call it a day. But I think each round that Joshua Van survives, it's going to build. It's going to be like Merab Umar, where like you can see that the tide's turning. But instead of like it pretty even with Merab leading the tide, and then it gets over to with Umar leading the tide, and then it goes over to Merab. Slow build up. I see Van losing round 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. He starts piecing up Pantoja. He's too quick, better gas tank. And I like when he stuffs a takedown, he's right on him. You know, he stuffs a takedown, he'll elbow on the clinch, he'll throw a knee, he'll throw a body kick, he'll throw something. He has good front teeps. I think he has enough weapons in his arsenal to keep Pantoja at bay in the later rounds, make him pay. But like I said, elbows, uppercuts, and body shots. That's the 3 big things. Pantoja's really slow, and I feel like he's weak to the body. Usyk was hitting with some good body shots in his fight, and it slowed him down a lot. You know, Pantoja really won because Usyk was shooting stupid takedowns in round 5, so he won round 5. But Usyk doesn't shoot those takedowns. He wins 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I think Van's not going to be that dumb. He's really smart. He's got some good fight IQ mid-cage. Again, you saw that against Merab Dvalishvili. He was losing that fight. He brings in front teeps to the leg. Oblique kicks in round 3, wins the fight because of that, and because of, he'll trade a shot, he'll take a shot to give a shot. I just trust him. I trust him. I think he's quick. I think he's powerful. Not powerful, but I think he's young enough and he's spry enough and he's got a good enough gas tank. And Pantoja's towards the end of his career, 35. I just wasn't impressed with... The Kai Kara-France thing was impressive with how quick he dealt with him like nothing. But I think Kai Kara-France was, not that impressive. Who did he beat? He beat Usyk to get the title shot, then lost to Royval. I think beating Royval, even though Royval didn't grapple, which is kind of a big reason why Van maybe would have won that. Maybe if Royval put some grappling in, he would have lost. He would have beaten Van, but I think Van showed. I think he's also just so quick, and he'll punish you on a single leg while still being, quick, and he'll get to the cage. He'll get his back against the cage quick. He can separate really well. Separate with an elbow. Separate with a body shot. Separate with something, and I think that's gonna build up. If we get past round 1, I'm gonna be so confident in Van winning. As soon as round 2 starts, and if Van isn't not slept cold on the floor, choked out, I'll be pretty excited. I think you'll see it happen. Youngest modern fighter champion, or youngest champion in the modern era, 24 years old. You run the rematch. Maybe Pantoja can do something in the rematch, but I don't know. I think Joshua Van beats Pantoja twice. You could do the Royval rematch. I'd like to see a Royval rematch. You could do the winner of Merano. He's got a lot of options. It saves the whole division if Joshua Van wins. I would not be surprised if this goes to a decision. They give it towards Van. The UFC really needs Van to win. All right, unless you do the Pantoja Merab super fight. But I think the UFC would prefer Van to win. He's younger. He's a superstar already. He's really young. He's gonna be hip. He's gonna be cool. And I saw a thing with Ariel saying he doesn't have a game plan. I know some people didn't like that, but I like that. I like that he doesn't have a set way to win in mind. He's gonna do whatever. When too many people, they have a game plan, and when they get punched in the face, they forget it or it doesn't go out their way, and they kind of freeze. I think Van's good enough to adapt. I think he can adapt. He's been knocked out before. I don't think Pantoja's going to give him anything to worry about on the feet. He blitzes in really badly, really sloppy. I don't know. I just trust Van. So I'm going to go with Van. Decision. That's what I'm thinking. A Van decision. I just trust him. I think he can do what Usyk did, where you punish Pantoja when he crashes into you. by showing an elbow, showing an uppercut. I think also some body shots while he's crashing into you, like a body hook while he's crashing into you, is going to do a lot of damage, especially if you hit that liver. I think that's going to add up. Like I said, it's a war of attrition with Van if he doesn't get submitted in round one. I think he's going to kill him with 1,000 cuts, or whatever that saying is. Death by 1,000 cuts. So I'm going to go with Joshua Van by decision. I just think Pantoja's too much of a blockhead, too much of a meathead to get finished in the later rounds. I think he can survive by shooting sloppy takedowns and stuff and having Van up against this cage in a single leg. And Usyk did a good job at surviving by keeping like a butterfly guard and like some knee bars and stuff. I think Van can recreate that. He's young, he's spry. I'm just going to have to trust that in these 5 months he's only trained on jiu-jitsu, defense, surviving rear naked chokes, scrambling well, just doing well everywhere. Because Pantoja, he can't really, I don't see him doing too much to train for Van, besides like facing his striking. But even then, dude, he's just so set in his ways of doing a sloppy running in, hook, jab, in with a leg kick, in with a body kick. I think Van's going to make some reads off of that. He's very good at distance management. He's going to do what Usyk did, elbow on the brand, or elbow when he's crashing in, or maybe like a counter hook, slip out, reset, without shooting dumb takedowns in the 4th and 5th and throwing away your free win. Usyk, you're an idiot. Astro Boy, more like idiot. Anyways, Joshua Van decision. That's who I have. Dude, look at that. Let's see, what is this? Yeah. Alright, well, it's just Merab Dvalishvili, Petr Yan 2, the main event of UFC 323. I just gotta go with Merab by decision. Yan's last 3 fights, I have not seen anything that'll show me this guy beats Merab. I just haven't. The Sudagari trips and the X trips, they're not going to do anything on Merab. You're not going to have Merab's back up against the cage. He's going to have that to you. I don't see Yan doing enough. I know he made a tweet saying that, after Pereira knocked out Ankalaev in the rematch, see, rematches can be different. Or a reminder, rematches can be different, but he just doesn't have anything to, like, you need to flatline Merab. You need a Sean O'Malley. You need a Umar to flatline Merab or beat him at what he does best. I don't see Yan being able to do that, dude. Song Yadong win, that was impressive. The Figueiredo win, that was a fun fight. And the Marcus McGee win, that was a good fight. But that didn't show me any levels. Not levels, but it didn't show me improvement enough for Merab for him to shut off Merab. For him to completely out-grapple Merab. And I know he had an injury in his right hand. He never threw his right hand against Merab in the first fight. Which is why I think it's going to be a close decision. Like 49-48. Or maybe 48, or sorry, not 49-48. 48-47. Maybe a split decision. Maybe. I don't think so. I think Merab will get it 48-47. Maybe 49-46. Loses maybe round 1. Because recently he's started to, build later, earlier. So I think he may lose round 1 and he'll win 2, 3, 4, 5. And then maybe the 5th round is when Yan will catch him with something he wasn't expecting. So I think Merab will win 2, 3, and 4. Yan will win 1 and 5. Something like that. But I just don't see Merab. I know Merab almost finished Sandhagen, which is impressive. I just don't see Yan being that physically irresponsible, and he may submit Yan. I think Yan is going to make sure not to get finished, which may be because that's what O'Malley was doing, just make sure I don't get finished, make sure I get back up, and that's what led to Merab submitting him in the rematch. But I think Yan's done enough. He's good enough to be on par with Merab everywhere, just not outpace him. And that's what it comes down to, him not being able to outpace Merab. He's going to be hard. I will say, Merab's 2 years older. This is his 4th fight this year. That could catch up to him. He could come in with an injury. He could, I don't know. He may be overworked, And that's in which that case, Yan can maybe just show style on him, get a TKO in round 3. Maybe he can do that, but Yan has to build, dude, and Merab builds a lot quicker than him. And I don't see Yan being able to shut down Merab while he builds. I think Merab can shut down Yan while he's building momentum. And it's going to be hard to beat Merab. You need a Newmar. You need a Newmar with a good gas tank to beat Merab. I think that's about it. But those are my picks. Merab by decision. Let's just do a recap. Merab by decision. Van by decision. So you can't have a Van and then Yan win. That's just too good to be true. But I do hope Yan wins, and I do hope Van wins. I'm just putting all my eggs in the basket on Van. So yeah, Merab decision, Van decision, Moreno decision, Cejudo TKO in round 3, Blachowicz KO in round 1, Dawson submission round 3, Duncan round 1 KO, Silva decision, Sadikov submission in round 2, Ferreira KO in round 1, Jalen Turner round 2 KO, Berneski KO round 1, Mansur Abdullah KO in round 2, and finally a Santos decision. So with that, let's go over some bets I made up. So if you want to play it a little risky, let me fix this. Here we go. Okay. I have let me move my head. Nope, that's the wrong thing. My big head. All right. Look at this. Is this done right? Y'all see that? There we go. No, you don't. There we go. Okay. So for on what's it called? Sports betting. If you want to do this little parlay I cooked up, I think this is a pretty good one. So obviously, some of the biggest things are Joshua Van to win is plus 190, Moreno to win is plus 120, Cejudo to win plus 225, and then under 2.5 from Vittoria Ferreira is $20 to win $855. If you want to take out Van, what is that without Van? 20 to win $281. So that's still pretty good. But I think if you're gonna gamble, you gotta go big or go home. So this little money line I think could go pretty well. My last ones, I'm down technically -40 if you count my 323 money line and my 320 in my Qatar money line. But you know what? This one's different. All right, this one's different. I feel it. Oh, but that's my picks. I don't know. Don't be funny. Make some money. Buy the numbers. Right there.